nationally proclaimed developmental psychologist Jeremy Turbo. Today we'll be investigating how Disney has shaped and molded the lives of various individuals from different backgrounds. Have you ever felt that Disney has left you at a socioeconomical disadvantage in your life? Or perhaps it's changed your life for the better? Well, if you want to see how other people have viewed the impact of Disney, find out today in our newest episode of How Disney Changed My Life. Hello there. I'm glad you could join me for an interview today. Would you be so kind as to tell me what the first Disney movie you saw was, and perhaps approximately how old you were when you saw your first Disney movie?
The first Disney movie that I saw was Dumbo, at a very young age.
How much Disney merchandise have you purchased, or how much has been gifted to you within your living memory?
The number of useless Disney VHS tapes that my family owns is disappointing.
Do you feel as though you've been influenced by Disney throughout your youth or adulthood?
Disney films have provided me with a sunny outlook on the realities of life.
Hello there. I'm glad you could join me for an interview today. Would you be so kind as to tell me what the first Disney movie you saw was, and perhaps approximately how old you were when you saw your first Disney movie?
Okay, one of the first Disney movies that I ever watched that I watched constantly was The Little Mermaid, because I loved Ariel, and I was probably like 2 when I first saw it, but I watched it all the time.
And please tell me, how did that movie make you feel?
The Little Mermaid made me feel happy. I loved it, and I don't know, it was on like at least 5 of my birthday cakes.
How much Disney merchandise have you purchased, or how much has been gifted to you within your living memory?
A lot of Disney merchandise. I go to Disney pretty much once a year, and so I always get stuff when we're going around the parks, and I probably have a lot of t-shirts and things like that.
Do you feel as though you possess a Disney addiction?
Yes.
Do you feel as though you've been influenced by Disney throughout your youth or adulthood?
I think Disney has influenced my creativity throughout my childhood. I was always creating things like songs and dances, and I think a lot of that had to do with watching all these Disney shows.
Hello there. I'm glad you could join me for an interview today. Would you be so kind as to tell me what the first Disney movie you saw was, and perhaps approximately how old you were when you saw your first Disney movie?
The first Disney movie I ever watched was Lady and the Tramp, and the first time I saw that was in 2001, so I was 3.
And please tell me, how did that movie make you feel?
I remember when we watched it, I didn't care that much about the movie, but my mother did, and she cried and sobbed like a baby as she was pregnant with my little
How
brother.
much Disney merchandise have you purchased, or how much has been gifted to you within your living memory?
Absolutely no Disney merchandise. Mickey Mouse was forbidden, matter of fact. Disney was not a factor in my childhood.
Do you feel as though you possess a Disney addiction?
Disney addiction.
Do you feel as though you've been influenced by Disney throughout your youth or adulthood?
So Disney bought Star Wars and Lucasfilm, so I mean that's kind of influential, I guess. But I don't really care.
I don't remember the first Disney movie I watched, but I was probably pretty young.
I had a lot of Disney princess costumes, but as of now, I don't buy myself that much. Just maybe like Beauty and the Beast things on occasion, because that's my favorite musical.
Do you feel as though you possess a Disney addiction?
No. As of now, no, but maybe when I was little, because Belle was my favorite princess and I wanted to be like her, so maybe back
the
then.
first one is Toy Story, around age 3.
And please tell me, how did that movie make you feel?
I don't feel anything. No merchandise.
Do you feel as though you've been influenced by Disney throughout your youth or adulthood?
Not really.
First Disney movie I remember seeing would be Tarzan, and I don't know how old I was, but I was very young. Disney merchandise, I purchased quite a number of Disney movies for you and your brother when you were young. And over the period of about 10 years or maybe 8 years from the time you were born until you were 8, we probably went to the Disney store a couple times a year. Of course, who hasn't been influenced by Disney? I think I was influenced by Disney more in my adult life than in my youth because I watched the movies with you and your brother and experienced it and understood the moral of the stories more as an adult probably than I did as a child.
Ah, you have returned. I'm glad that you could join me as I formulate a conclusion as to the status of my patients. While the impact of Disney has seemed to have many differing effects upon their conscious, however, it is a common correlation that all these individuals have seen their first Disney movie at a very young age, whether or not they remember it. Now, the results were mixed as to how they reacted to their first Disney movie. Yet, a significant amount of them, disregarding a few outliers, have purchased a large amount of Disney merchandise from princess costumes to various movies. Yes, very few, if any, of my subjects admitted to having a Disney addiction per se. However, the influence seems to be widely ranging. Multiple of them felt as though they wanted to imitate a specific Disney character, or just relish the idea of being able to watch another Disney movie. The influence seems to have a significant impact upon how their lives have developed. The functionalist idea of sociology may be applied to these studies as seeing that a collaboration of the various underlying Disney messages may be necessary in order for Disney's intentions to be fully realized. Perhaps one Disney movie will talk about cooperation and patience amongst one another, while the other will talk about forgiveness. My patients have demonstrated that various ideas may be extracted from each movie, and once everyone remembers them together, a cohesive unit of Disney recognition may be formed. When looking at Disney as a socializing outlet of media upon young individuals, one may also view the conflict perspective as relevant. Now, the conflict perspective may tie into the fact that not everyone will agree with the underlying meanings and hidden agendas of Disney movies, or perhaps they'll be misinterpreted and viewed negatively amongst different individuals. Symbolic interactionists may view Disney movies as being a medium of childhood imagination and splendor amongst all populations. They allow one to imagine themselves as being another character, fighting in an X-Wing perhaps, or battling invaders from a foreign nation. They allow children to view themselves as being in these larger-than-life roles. As you have observed with my gracious interviewees, all of them had some knowledge of Disney, whether it was movies, princesses, or other random experiences. None of them were deficient of any Disney understanding. This proves that the cultural institution of media is so wide-ranging. Disney's hidden agendas, if you believe that they have them, may be pressed upon varying individuals throughout their childhood and adulthood. Thank you for joining me today on this episode of How Disney Changed My Life. I'm the internationally proclaimed developmental psychologist, Dr. Jeremy Turvo, and here's some smooth jazz for your way out.